plenty of highs and lows when it comes to starting and running your own business, and Arlene Dickinson knows all about them. Arlene rose to prominence through the TV show Dragon's Den, but don't forget, she only got there because, well, she's one of the country's most renowned entrepreneurs. We are so excited to have Arlene back with us in studio. Good morning.
Good morning. I love coming here.
We love having you.
Thank you. You always look so amazing this early in the morning. Every time I get up this early to come here, I think, how does she do this? Oh.
You know, we've all been up for like 6 hours.
I know.
This is the point. This is why. You're doing a speaking engagement in High River. I mean, there are highs and lows, and then there are devastations, right?
Right.
If you're speaking to entrepreneurs in a situation like that, how do you express to people, you know, coming out of something like that?
Well, you know, I mean, the floods affected so many of us. I mean, I lost my office through the flood as well in Calgary. So I have a great sense of empathy for what the residents of High River went through, although many of them lost not just their businesses, but also their homes. And so their whole entire lives were destructed and deconstructed, and so they have to rebuild them. And so I'm hoping to just talk a little bit with them about having hope and believing that sometimes out of the devastation can come something that's even better than there was before. But it takes courage.
Well, and in that way, some people may be kind of taking a whole new tack on their life and starting something completely new.
Right.
So how do you even kind of get off the ground when it comes to being an entrepreneur?
You know, it's been said time and time again, and I'll tell you what, it's trite as it might sound, take that first step.
Yeah.
If you don't start, you will never finish. So the whole idea is that you've got to just say, I'm going to do this. It was funny, I was walking downtown here this week, and I stood in front of the building, you know, where the ATB is on 8th Avenue and 2nd Street. I stood in front, which is where my first office was, and that building was set for demolition, and we were struggling, and we couldn't pay our bills, and it was so hard. But now when I look at it, you know, 27 years later, I kind of think, wow, that, you know, I did that. And so there's a sense of accomplishment.
Did you have mentors along the way? How important is it to find that kind of support, whether it be in person or otherwise?
You know, I feel like I've had mentors through my life that have been more random mentorship than it is, you know, purposeful sitting down with somebody. I believe that when you listen well to what somebody's saying, you will always glean some insight from what they have experienced. And so I've had lots of people along the way who have taken time to teach me the lessons they've learned, and I'm a good listener, so I've listened well when people have taught me kind of impromptu lessons, whether it be at a cocktail party or sitting at a dinner table or sitting here talking to you about life in general. You always have something to learn, and somebody can always teach you something.
Well, speaking of parties, I was wondering if you get cornered.
We're going to a party.
Let's have a party right now.
All right.
If you're at a party or in a social situation or just walking down the street, how often do you get cornered and pitched at, and are any of them any good?
I have to. Everywhere. I get
right?
Everywhere. Bathrooms, airplanes, offices, elevators, walking down the street, parties. But it's wonderful because people always have such good intention, and they really do love their ideas, and I feel privileged to get to hear them. So sometimes it's just comical, though. You'll be washing your hands in the bathroom and going, no, this might not be the best time to talk about it.
But for some people, I mean, maybe, you know, maybe that's sort of taking the leap that they need to get something off the ground. I mean, what do you think of the wild and wacky, somebody taking out a billboard, or, you know, just sort of strange approaches to getting a start?
Is there a billboard out there that I need to look for? You know what? Do whatever feels right. I think we don't trust ourselves enough, and we're too afraid of being different. And we need to be brave about who we are. We need to be willing to put ourselves out there. And, you know, so what if you fail? So what? You know, my dad always said you're going to be 5 minutes of conversation at the dinner table, and then people will move on. I think in today's world, you might be 5 seconds of conversation, then people move on. So really, it's about your life. It's not about what anyone else thinks about you. Well,
we are so lucky to have you on the show, and you can hear more from Arlene. This is happening tomorrow night at the Highs and Lows of Being an Entrepreneur, an event at the Highwood Golf Course in High River from 5:30 to 9. More information at breakfasttelevision.ca, and we can do rock, paper, scissors for who brings the mimosas next time, Arlene, for breakfast.
I'll tell you what, let's both bring them.
Sounds good to me, Arlene Dickinson. Lovely to see you.
Nice to see you, too.